T. So we get into the rakish. Rakish is it's more refined, right?
Hmm.
It's more of the ladies' man, right? It's more of the kind of I don't want to say romantic. That wouldn't be a good word, but it's more of the type that can, you know, really put on a good show. Put on the airs of looking nice. Sharp to death. The rugged man don't care about looking nice, right?
Right.
This one, the rakish looks more, refined. Not he's not refined, but he looks more he plays more that part.
Right.
Where he has a suit and tie, he has the cologne, right? Got a little jewelry on, right? He knows what
Yeah.
to say, how to say it, where to say it, when to say it, and he kind of pulls in more like that sun type of attribute, more like that Leo energy. He kind of pulls things in, right? He
Right.
attracts things where the rugged is going to do what? He might club
You're
you and
gonna
take you home with
you're
him,
gonna
right?
force it.
Right, right. Now you're gonna go out with me, right? We're gonna go to like So the rakish is he's got more of those leonine type dispositions, and Leo, it's the sign of performance,
Mhm.
right? It's the sign of shining. It's the sign of you know the arts, not to say artistically in the sense like making things, but acting. You know,
Mhm.
being a star because the sun is nothing but a what? It's
A
nothing but a
star.
star, right?
Right.
Being the star of the show, being the centerpiece, right? Walking in and, you know, commanding the room, but not in the sense of force, but in the sense of,
Presence.
presence. Very
Yeah.
well stated, right? That's the rakish, right?
Hmm.
And, Kevin Samuels, he's, like I said, some of the things he says are correct. It's limited, right? It's just
Hmm.
limited in his approach because there's much more to it than that. Of course, we could talk about every other element and they still would fit some other bill with
Right.
regards to the type of manhood. But fire, because it's that element of manliness, right? That's where I think he and a lot of other manosphere type individuals have locked men into, right?
Right.
Um, the rakish is, he doesn't he doesn't have to move you in a way that is overt. It's subtle to a degree, right? It's smooth. It's as they call debonair, right?
Hmm.
Your Billy D. Williams, right?
Yeah.
Right. For y'all, you're old enough to know who Billy D is, right? Billy D was the Denzel back in the day, right?
Right.
Right. Billy D was the man. When you talk about Lady Sings the Blues or you know
Billy D.
Billy
You
D,
know,
right? Code
the first thing I
45,
think of.
right?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, man. That's the last major thing I think about. Colt 45, and
Right.
he was an undercover brother playing a similar role that he played on the Colt 45 commercial as you
Right,
got.
right. But smooth as butter, right? You know,
Yeah.
and women in that era, would trip over themselves to get to him. Now and even Denzel's fading out too, right?
Right.
I think I don't know who would be now, but
Probably who the chicks like. They like Idris Elba.
Idris Elba, right? And Idris kind of got a little ruggedness to him, a little bit. You know,
I think he's if I'm not mistaken, I think his moon is in Leo as well. If I'm not
it
mistaken.
wouldn't be surprising, right?
I think his moon is in Leo. I gotta pull it up to
Yeah,
verify, but I think so.
he doesn't. When I say a little bit, when compared to Billy D, right? Because
Right.
Billy D is like
He's smooth. He's like the
just like he
you know what
floats.
I'm
You know what I mean? Like is he
saying?
walking and float? I mean,
Almost
excellent example.
Snoopish.
And he doesn't have any Leo placements because most people think he does, but he doesn't actually. Obama, right? Obama's the rakish kind of individual. He's
Yeah.
refined too, right? He's got some refiners, but he's got that smooth as butter, hit you with a smile, and just make women titillate and oh my gosh, he's so handsome, that type of energy. So the
He gets
rakish.
some of that because he's black though too, man. You know, he's first real black man that they let rise up in the political stage
True,
like that,
true, true,
and black people generally have a just an overarching reputation of having that smoothness. Like a lot of
true,
times
true.
you,
Yeah, we do. Right.
yeah,
What do they call it? What's the name for it? Not suave.
swag,
Swagger. Yeah, right.
yeah,
He's
so
got swagger to him, and that's what
right,
rakish is, having that swagger.
right,
I mean, having that, you you come in and you know how to move and how to shake amongst the best of them, and so we could see a lot of that type now, especially like in the entertainment field because that's where they really shine the most.
right.
But politicians can also be this as well, right?
Especially in America, you have to be. You gotta get votes.
Right.
It's a show. You gotta get. You
You
gotta.
got to put on the show, right? You
Right.
definitely do, right? You can't come in with the rugged type disposition and think you.
Sometimes you depend on who you are.
Yeah, true. I mean, even,
Because Trump,
but he's Leo ascendant though.
but he's
We got
moon
Mars and
Scorpio
Leo too
Scorpio,
though,
but he got Scorpio moon.
and Mars and Leo, right?
Yeah.
So he says, grab him by the, right,
Yeah. He's roguish, man. I mean, he has a bit of rakish to it's an acquired. I guess if you're, what I mean, if you're in that world, like you that's like a lot of people who a lot of his supporters they view him like that. You understand what I'm saying? So I
true.
guess it's environmental is that's the also context you got to put into it as well. But overall though, man, he's pretty roguish.
Yeah, yeah. That Mars is aspects the moon as well.
Yeah.
I said Mars is gonna play itself out, and but the Leo, he tries to present that in a way. You know what I
Right.
mean? He tries to cover it up with the suit and the tie, right?
Yeah, I mean, we put together the, you like my vaccine? Yeah, my vaccine is doing good. We put that together. They
Right.
did a real good job on it. Yeah, the way that he
Exactly.
talks about it. You know,
Exactly. My point being, right? So,
you,
um, you know, that rakish energy is, like you said, it's when you look at the sun and anything that does with the sun, Leo, even the fifth house to some degree, people with a lot of planets in the fifth house or planets that deal, they have a politician inside of them to some degree, right? They
hmm
have that part of them that wants to interact with people on a certain level, right? And you think about it, the fifth house is opposite the 11th, like Leo is opposite Aquarius, right? It
right,
it have this kind of need to be in the centerpiece and to be received by others, right?
right.
Which is that rakish kind of energy. Um, you know, also that rakishness, and we talk about the positive and the negative, right? It can be, um, I don't want to say narcissistic, right? And that word has been beat down so much.
Nobody knows what it means. They're just
I,
saying
I
they're
mean,
just saying stuff. Anybody, oh,
it
you're a
just
narcissist.
it's been beat down to the point where almost anybody that has any type of offset or disposition, you're just narcissistic. But if you understood who Narcissus was, everybody has something, some part of them that is narcissistic, right? Narcissism just means that you fall in love with yourself, right? How many women, I know you stop topic of men, but how many women are narcissists to some degree? I know I
Practically
look good.
every Instagram
Oh
model.
my god. Thank
I
you,
mean,
brother. Thank you, right? That's narcissism, right? That's what it is. I mean, people take this word and it's a word. When I was you're, old enough to, I didn't even hear that word, you know. It's just
Not
another
not
way.
in the not in the context of dealing with regular people. No.
No, it wasn't in vogue like this. Now everybody, you're a narcissist. You're a narcissist. You're a narc. Like what? Like do you have a planet in your chart called the sun? If it's in there, you have some area or way of being narcissistic. If you have
Right.
Venus, you have narcissism somewhere, right? You could be narcissistic about your writing skills. I'm the best writer or I'm the best hairdresser. That's narcissism. When it becomes egotism, right? And that's I think a better word, right?
Mm-hmm.
Egotism, right? Because you become so magnanimous to yourself that you forget and don't consider others as equal or as important. That's just the ego, right?
I think it's more of a thing today's time because we live in a so-called democracy where it's supposed to be the people. You understand? It's supposed to be the masses. And when someone attempts. I mean, it's a crazy dichotomy because nobody really rises in the West without you know um having a level of, like, I guess, self-importance or something like that. It doesn't happen,
Right.
but people hate it at the same time. They
There's a
love it,
love hate relationship
but
with
they
it.
hate it at the same time.
Yeah. It's a love hate relationship. And as soon as
Right.
you cross the line where you say something that is unlikable on one, depending on which group you're dealing with, right,
Right.
then you become a narcissist,
Yeah.
right? So, but if you were to say of the three, it would be the rakish type, right?
Hmm.
The
I can see that.
egotism, right? The one that doesn't hold regards in regard to others' perceptions of himself or herself. He doesn't care, she doesn't care in the sense that they're more self important. And that's the dark side of it, right?
Right.
Just like you have the rugged and the roguish, right? You have the rakish and the one that will kind of be, you know, self aggrandizing, right? Self sure, overly sure, right? And it just goes with the territory, right? Right. Good point, Kumaran Kwesi. Narcissist is a concept that represents the psyche of white people. If we embrace, then that's due to colonization. Exactly. I mean, it's a concept that comes out of modern psychology, right? And
Right.
if you understand psychology, they're just trying to corner or uh, trying to characterize or categorize a person's disposition, which that's what astrology is in the first place, right?
Right.
When they catch up to the reality of what they're trying to do, astrology has been this, been there, done that, got the T-shirt for it. Now, it is interesting that when we talk about Donald Trump, right, in the sense of the negative side of rakishness, he does have Rahu what conjunct the sun.
Junk son. Yeah.
That is a telltale, right, sign of, like my brother said, egotism, right? It's inflated beyond, right, consideration. It becomes inconsiderate, right?
Hmm.
It becomes the rakish gone bad comes to the point where they really can run roughshod over others because there's no one that can equal their ability um or talents. And we always know there's what's the old saying? There's always somebody what
Better.
better than you.
Right.
Right? So it's a thin line. You know, we do want to have that part of us that has a sense of pride. Pride is not necessarily negative; is when it becomes too much, then you have a great fall. But with proper pride and healthy pride is proper, right? Because you should have take some stock in your abilities and be able to show and prove that you have a skill set that puts you on par with others as far as your abilities are concerned. That's the rakish type of man, right? He's sure of himself when he walks into the room. He knows, right, that I can get a glance, I can get a glare, I can get a look, in the sense of opposite sex, I can get a woman, right? In the sense of a business deal, right? I can outshine my competitor, right? Not in the sense of roughshotting like the rugged, but in the sense of being able to produce or perform, right? That's
Right.
the rakish aspect when we talk about those three types, right? And it's a good thing to go watch Kevin Samuels and watch that video, to hear what he has to say about it and compare and contrast what we're presenting to you from the astrological purview. Because
Speaking, I don't think we put the correspondence with the roguish. I don't think I don't did we talk about Aries?
yeah,
Okay, I don't know.
yeah,
I thought we missed that. Yeah.
yeah, I mentioned Mars, right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
We talked about the headstrong warrior type, right? Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we definitely covered because Aries is that prototype,
Right.
right? Aries is the type that just doesn't, it's a fighter. It's the person that deals in, overcoming obstacles. That is in the negative side ruthless, right? But on the
Right.
positive side, a protector or very valiant,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, we definitely covered that. I maybe
Yeah.
didn't mention Aries as much, and the
Right.
reason is because I want people to kind of start to think about that as an astrological underpinning, right?
Yeah.
That Aries is within, and even within Aries, you have subtypes. But
Right.
Aries overall, right, is that rugged or negative, roguish, right,
Yeah.
type of individual, whereas the Sun, Leo, is the rakish, right?
Right.
The one that can walk in a business meeting, right? Even may even be what are they? The rakish is the one that is what's the word? Um, uh, when he's late. What's the statement? Um,
Fashionably late.
fashionably late is the rakish, right?
Yeah.
And if you think about it, it's a strategy. If everyone else is there and I come a least maybe 5 minutes late, all eyes on what?
Oh me.
Right?
It's a
Especially
man. It's a trip. Yeah. Go ahead.
right.
Never
Especially if I
mind.
have something on that I want you to notice, right?
Right.
If I'm making something of a statement, you're gonna look at me and it's gonna be in your mind. Oh, who does he think he is? Right? Oh, he just
Or
comes.
the other side of that too. There's that side of it, but there's the other side of the rakish to um wanting to play by their own rules, but not like, oh, you know what I mean? Like,
That's
you know
the
what I mean?
negative.
Wants to kind of
Exactly.
wants to
Yeah.
control the situation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or whatnot. Yeah.
My point exactly, right?
Yeah.
I make the rules, right? Or I'll bend the rules, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it can be done in a positive or negative way, right?
Right.
If you're in that position, if you are in if you're in the business world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Business, not in the private, in the sector that deals in um, taking, advertising or um, sales, things like that. If you coming in and everyone else is there and you come in 5 minutes late, and it doesn't happen often, you know how to do it right, right?
Right.
You come in and you sit down and everybody, and it's almost like everybody shifts, right? To say, oh, he's late, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then guess what, right? That's gonna be when it's time for you to make your statement, and you have that confidence, that self assuredness that I'm gonna rock this, right? When I make my presentation, it's gonna also be when that presentation is made, it's gonna stand out in their mind because although yes, dude was late, he killed it, right? So it's the level of doing it, and that's that part of being rakish that you know how to do it, right? Not
Yeah.
where you use it and abuse it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know how to do it just right to where it works in your favor. But again, then it could be the control freak issue, right?
Right.
It could be like, nah. every time. And you could, and the thing is, you could be the boss, right? And
Right.
the boss could abuse it can be an abuse of power, right?
Right.
In the sense of the rakish type of individual, where womanizing,
Hmm.
right? That's an abuse of power, right?
Right.
I know I'm handsome, right? I know I got the gift of gab, right?
Hmm.
I know I got, financially got somewhat going on, right? And who wouldn't want me, right? Then yeah, it can be an abuse of power, right? Right. So, um, definitely something to consider with regards to, that rakish type of energy, right?
Right.
Where this is something that um, can stand out, right? And that's what rakish wants to do anyway, right? Wants to stand
Right.
out from above the rest.
Right.